Hey guys, welcome to another Writing Skills 1 video. Today I am filming from Hello Village. As you can see behind me, it's quite empty in here, so it's a little bit lonely. But anyway, so today we're going to do a quick lesson about paragraphs. So I'm going to explain to you what a paragraph is, and also I'm going to give you some rules on how to write a paragraph. So before you start watching the rest of the lesson, please prepare your green ready-to-write textbook, and also please have your number 3 print called Getting Organized. Okay? All right, so let's get started then. Okay guys, so let's begin the lesson for today. And today's topic is getting organized. So first, let's begin by looking at what a paragraph is. So what is a paragraph? The first thing you need to know is that a paragraph is a chunk of information that is usually 2 or more sentences long. Sometimes a paragraph can be 1 sentence, but usually there's more than one. One paragraph should have one main idea. So in a paragraph, you should be talking about one main topic, one main idea in your paragraph. Having only one main idea makes it much easier for the reader to understand what you are talking about. If you have too many ideas, too many different topics in a paragraph, it becomes very confusing and very difficult for the reader to understand what your point is. Next, let's look at rules for writing a paragraph. Number 1 is first you have to indent the beginning of a paragraph. So indent means to make a space. Here is an example. Hello Village is my favorite place in Hioshigaoka High School. Let's imagine that this is the first sentence of a paragraph. If you look at the front, Hello Village begins at the very beginning of the line. So the hello starts at the very beginning. This is not the correct way to begin a paragraph. When you are writing a paragraph, it should look like this. So the same sentence, Hello Village is my favorite place in Hioshigaoka High School. As you can see now, there is a space at the beginning of the sentence before hello. So please remember to do this when you write a paragraph. If you are typing this, you can just push the tab button on your keyboard and that will make that space automatically. So number 2 is don't change lines at the beginning of each sentence. Let's use the same sentence to begin the paragraph. Hello Village is my favorite place in Hioshigaoka High School. Now we're going to add some more sentences. There are many fun games and activities there. I also enjoy speaking English with the ALTs. As you can see, these next 2 sentences are starting on a different line. When you are writing a paragraph, you should not be doing this. Instead, your paragraph should look like this. So, looking at this, you can see that there and I are starting right after the period of the previous sentence. So in this same way, you should not change lines when you are starting a new sentence. Please continue after the period until your paragraph is over. Okay, so again, number 2 was don't change lines at the beginning of each paragraph. And let's look at number 3. Number 3 is be careful when capitalizing letters. So using big letters and also using punctuation. Punctuation means periods, question marks, commas, etc. So now, please open your textbook to page 8, and let's take a look at some different rules. So the first rule in the textbook says, begin the first word of every sentence with a capital letter, so large A, large B, large C, and end it with a period, exclamation point, or a question mark. Let's take a look at some examples. People around the world drink tea. As you can see, people is the first word, so the P is a large P, a capital P, and we end with a period. Look at that beautiful car. So look is the first word, so we're using a capital L at the beginning of the sentence. And this is a sentence that shows excitement, so we're using an exclamation mark or an exclamation point at the end of the sentence. Who won the race? So again, who is the first word, so we're using a capital W, and then of course, because it's a question, we have a question mark at the end of the sentence. Let's look at the next rule. Next, always capitalize the pronoun I. So the pronoun I means when I is talking about yourself. So let's look at an example. Christine and I wrote this book. So I means me, so we are capitalizing the I in this sentence. But please be careful, we're only capitalizing the pronoun I, which doesn't mean that we are capitalizing all of the letter I's in a sentence. So for example, Christine is a very interesting and intelligent person. As you can see, interesting and intelligent are capital I's here, but they are not talking about me. They're not talking about a person, so this is incorrect. This is not the correct way to do that. However, Christine and I are very interesting and intelligent people. Now we have the pronoun I here, so this is talking about me, so this should be a capital letter. And interesting and intelligent are lowercase or small letters or small alphabets. So this is a correct sentence. The next rule for capitalization and punctuation is capitalize all proper nouns, including names and titles, names of places, so for example, cities, streets, countries, and names of languages, religions, and nationalities. So let's take a look at some examples. My name is Dr. Carol Wolf. So first, at the beginning, of course, my is capital M, because it's the first word of a sentence. But now let's take a look at Dr. Carol Wolf. Doctor is a special word that is a title of a person. So when somebody is named Dr. so-and-so, you should capitalize the D for doctor when it's part of a name. Carol is the first name of this person, so that is a capital C, and Wolf is the last name or the family name, and that is a capital W. Next, I live at 515 Prospect Avenue in Toronto, Canada. I, of course, is a pronoun, but also the beginning of a sentence, so it is a capital I. Prospect Avenue. Now this is the name of a street, just like Sanjo or Kawaramachi are. So the P for prospect is a capital P. A for avenue is also a capital A. Avenue means street or road. Next, of course, Toronto is the name of a city, so the T is a capital T. And then Canada is the name of a country, so we have a capital C there as well. And next, my friend speaks Japanese fluently. So again, my is a capital M because it's the beginning of a sentence, and then Japanese is a capital J because it is a language. So again, it's very important to remember that proper nouns are all capitalized. Let me show you one example that might be a little bit confusing. So I am a high school student at Hiyoshigaoka. Looking at the sentence Hiyoshigaoka here is a capital H, of course, because it is the name of the school. But now let's look at this. I am a student at Hiyoshigaoka High School. In here you can see that high school uses capital letters, capital H and capital S. Although in the first sentence, high school is not using capital letters. However, in this case, Hiyoshigaoka High School is a set. So this set is the name of the school that you guys go to. So in this case, the H in high and the S in school become capitalized because Hiyoshigaoka High School is the title or the name of the place. The next rule is capitalize days of the week, holidays, and months of the year, but do not capitalize the names of seasons. So this is pretty straightforward. but my favorite holiday, Halloween, is next Tuesday. Again, M is capital M because it's the beginning of a sentence. The H in Halloween is the name of a special day or a holiday, and so that is a capital H. And Tuesday is the day of a week, so it is a capital T. Next, I plant flowers every spring and summer. I, of course, is a pronoun, but also the beginning of a sentence, so we have a capital I. But spring and summer are just seasons, so we do not capitalize those words. The next is capitalize the first word of a quote. So a quote is something that somebody else has said, and you are copying those words exactly as the person has said them. So here's an example. The teacher said, "Please open your books." So, of course, the is the first word, so T is capitalized. But then inside the quotes, "Please open your books," please is the first word of the quote, so the P is capitalized in that quote. So now what I would like you to do is please do exercise A, B, and C on pages 8 and 9 in your textbook. So now I want you to please pause the video and give yourself about 5 minutes to do the exercise, and when you finish, please press play on the video again, and then we'll check the answers together. Okay, so please get started on your textbook work now. Okay, now welcome back, guys. Now let's take a look at the answers from your textbook. So let's begin with part A, so adding the correct punctuation. So the first sentence, what time does the class begin? This, of course, is a question, so we end it with a question mark. Next, number 2, please don't touch that. Now here, it depends on the tone of the person speaking, but this can be an exclamation point or a period. So an exclamation point is usually when somebody has a strong feeling about something. So maybe if they're angry and they really don't want you to touch something, it's an exclamation point. But it could also just be a friendly reminder to somebody. So in that case, it can be a period. But both are okay in this case. I have to do the laundry on Saturday. Here, this is probably a period. But again, of course, if the person's tone is of excitement, so for example, if somebody really doesn't want to do laundry, then an exclamation point here is okay as well. But usually here, it will be a period. Number 4, we are going to buy a new car this weekend. This, again, it can be a period, but if it's exciting to the person, it can also be an exclamation point. So both are okay here. Number 5, who is your roommate? Of course, this is a question, so we are going to end that sentence with a question mark. Number 6, be careful. This is probably an exclamation point, but again, if the tone is a kind, friendly tone, it could be a period as well. Okay, next on to part B, so adding capital letters. Let's look at number 1. So I plan to visit Jason on Monday after work. Here the I at the beginning of the sentence is capitalized. Jason is a name, and then Monday is a day of the week, so those are all capital letters. Number 2, your appointment is at 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. Here your is the first word of the sentence, so we have a capital Y, and then Wednesday, of course, is a day of the week, so that is a capital W. We are having dinner at Mr. and Mrs. Root's house for Thanksgiving. So we have quite a few here. So we is the beginning of a sentence, so it is a capital W. Mr. and Mrs. are considered titles, so those would be capital M. So Mr. and Mrs., please make those capital M's in your sentence. Root is the family name, so please capitalize that. And then Thanksgiving is the name of a special day or a holiday, so that is a capital T. Next, number 4. My sister and I are learning Korean. Here, of course, my is a capital M because it's the first word of a sentence. I is a pronoun. Korean is a language, so those are all capitalized. Next, the professor said your essay is due on Friday. Here, in this case, of course, the is the first word, so that is a capital T. And your essay is due on Friday. So your is the first word of a quotation, so that is capital Y. And then Friday is the day of a week, so we are capitalizing F as well. One thing to be careful about here is professor. So professor is kind of like the word doctor, which we looked at earlier. So professor by itself is not capitalized, but if it is a combination with somebody's name, then it becomes capitalized. So professor is the teacher at a university. So for example, if the name of a person is Professor Ohashi, then a P would be capitalized along with the O in Ohashi. Okay, but in this case, it's not combined with a name, so it's not a capital P. And number 6, they are planning a trip to Toronto, Canada. This textbook likes Toronto, I guess. So first, they is the first word of the sentence, so that is a capital T. Toronto is a city. Canada is a country. Those are all capital letters. Okay, and finally, part C, capital letters and punctuation. So we're going to combine both of them together now. So, the first one, engineering is a good career choice for some people. Your sentence should look like this. Capital E and period at the end of the sentence. Next, number 2. My sister and I love Japanese food. So here, M is a capital M. I, because it's a pronoun, meaning me. And then Japanese, of course, it's a nationality. So that is a capital J. And then food, at the end of food, we have a period. Although if the person is really excited about Japanese food, I suppose you could also have an exclamation point as well. Number 3, who is your favorite movie star? So who is the first word, so capital W, and then at the end we have a question mark because it is a question. Number 4, the meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 25th. Your sentence should look like this. Capital T, capital M for a day of the week, and capital A for a month, and then a period at the end. Number 5, I made an appointment with Dr. Brody for Friday morning. So here we have I is a capital I because it's the beginning of the sentence and a pronoun. And as I just mentioned here, Dr. Brody, so this is a combination. So doctor here becomes a title. So we have a doctor with a capital D, Brody with a capital B, and then Friday we have a capital F because it's a day of the week. And at the end we had a period. Next, number 6. Do you know anyone who speaks Turkish? We have a capital D for do, and then Turkish, which is the language of Turkey. So this is a language, so it is a capital T, and then we have a question mark at the end. I'm sorry, I forgot to make the question mark red. And then next, number 7, Matt and I will meet you on the corner of Locust Street and 2nd Avenue. Here we have Matt is a capital M, beginning of the sentence, and it's a name. I is a pronoun, so we have a capital I. Locust Street is the name of the street, so L and S are capitalized. 2nd Avenue is also the name of a street, so those are capitalized as well. And then we have a period at the end of the sentence. And finally, number 8. Mr. Jones said the train to Burlington, Vermont is running 30 minutes late. But Mr. Jones, this is Mr. is the first word, but also a title, so that is a capital M. Jones is a name, capital J. And the first word of the quote, the, is capitalized. Burlington, Vermont. Burlington is the name of a city. Vermont is the name of a state in America. So that is a capital V. And then at the end of the sentence, we have a period. Okay, so now let's finally get into the main topic of the class today. It's called getting organized. So let's take a look at what we need to know about this topic. So the first thing is being organized helps your writing stay focused. So if you're not organized, it's very easy to start talking about many different points in the same paragraph. So when you're organized, it makes it much easier to have one main topic and one main goal for your paragraph. Number 2, to be organized, you should decide what is the main idea of my paragraph. So what is the main topic of your paragraph? What do you want to talk about? And then, what are the main points I need to talk about? So you have one main topic, but how are you going to explain the topic with different points? So you should decide what points you will use to explain the main topic, the main idea of your paragraph. And number 3, who is going to read this? This is also very important. So please think about who is going to read your writing, and then you can decide what information you need to give to the reader. So to be organized, One activity you can do is make a mind map. So mind mapping is a way to brainstorm and to think of ideas, and after you finish mind mapping, you can decide what you are going to write about. And let me show you an example of how to do this. So here is an example of a blank mind map. So today we are going to write an essay about John. So now to write about John, we are going to have to think about what different topics we can write about. So because John is the main topic, we're going to put him in the middle of the page. Now we're going to think of some big ideas that we can talk about, big topics that we can talk about regarding John. So for example, his job. So one big topic can be John's job. Next, travels. I know John likes to travel, so maybe another idea is we can talk about the places that John has traveled to. Next is lifestyle. So maybe there are some interesting things about John's lifestyle that we can look at. So that is another idea for a topic. And then finally, hobbies. So maybe we can think of interesting hobbies that John has that we can talk about. So job, travels, lifestyle, and hobbies, these are the different topics that we can talk about. Now we are going to think of points that we can say to talk about these topics. Let's begin with job. So for example, for John's job, we can talk about his work at Hello Village. We can also talk about his classes, the different classes that he teaches at Hiyoshigaoka High School. John is also one of the main teachers for the ESS Club, so we can talk about the ESS Club and what he does in the ESS Club as points to talk about his job as well. For travels, these are different places that he has traveled to. Of course, he's been to Japan, he's been to Thailand, and he's been to Korea. And I'm sure he's been to more as well, but these are just some different points we can talk about when talking about John's travels. Next, John's lifestyle. So John is quite active, so he likes to exercise, so maybe that's something we can talk about. Another thing about John is that John does not eat beef, which is something interesting that maybe we can talk about. We can explain maybe why he decided not to eat beef, for example. So those are different ideas to talk about his lifestyle. And for hobbies, John likes hiking, playing chess, and writing. So these are just 3 of his hobbies, but these are points we can talk about when talking about John's hobbies. So now from here, we're going to choose one of these groups, either job, travels, lifestyle, and hobbies. We're going to choose one of these, and then we're going to write a paragraph using this information. So for now, for the example, we're going to go with John's hobbies. Okay, so John is the main topic for the whole essay, but for the first paragraph, hobbies is going to be the topic of the paragraph. And we're going to use hiking, chess, and writing as different points to talk about hobbies. Now let's look at an example paragraph about John's hobbies. So John has many different hobbies. His favorite are hiking, playing chess, and writing. On weekends, John hikes the mountains around Kyoto to get fresh air and exercise. He also plays a lot of chess, and sometimes he becomes angry when he loses a lot. But then he remembers it is only a game. John writes poems and stories because he likes to use his imagination and make records of his thoughts. These activities make John happy. So as you can see, we've talked about hiking, chess, and writing, so the 3 points that we decided to write this paragraph about John's hobbies. So the first sentence, of course, this is support for the point of hiking. Next, this, of course, is supporting chess. And this last sentence, of course, explains writing. So it explains a little bit about how John enjoys writing. So this is an example of how to put a paragraph together after you have done some mind mapping and gotten your thoughts organized. Okay, so now let's go on to an explanation of your next assignment for writing skills. Okay guys, so now I'm going to explain the assignment. So I want you to take a look at the back of your handout, and on the back there should be a blank mind map in the same way that we did for John. So first I want you to choose one member of your family. Anybody's okay. It could be a brother, a sister, a grandfather, an uncle, or an aunt. Anybody is okay. And then I want you to do a mind map in the same way as we did for John. Next, as you remember, we chose one of the topics. So we chose hobbies for John, and we wrote a paragraph about John. So in the same way, I want you to choose one topic from your mind map about your family member and then write a paragraph which should be 70 words or more. Okay, and this will be due on the first day back from the school close period. Okay, so please finish, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me any questions through the website or on Classy or on any other format that we're using right now. Okay, so good luck on your assignment, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care. Bye.